Hi everyone, Casey Mullaney here from CaseyMullaney.com. So you may have caught a couple of my videos where I've been chatting a little bit about money, or maybe a little more than a little bit. And in case you don't know, starting next Monday, I am starting the free Money Makeover challenge. So definitely sign up. If you're over your money stress, before you start listening to this video, go ahead and sign up for the challenge now. That'll give you notifications on videos going out, homework I recommend. If you don't love the word homework, tasks, things that I recommend for you to work on, think about, do. They're minor. It's not that stressful. Also, it'll let you have notifications for when I do videos over on my business page as well. So, super exciting, super important. If you're ready to let go of your money stress, start by signing up for the challenge. But anyways, today I wanted to talk a little bit about why this is important to me and why I decided to do this. So you may have heard me talk a little bit about this at other time frames, but I've had a very interesting relationship with money over the years. And what was really fascinating, if I go like way back, I went from like initially having this inner knowing, this inner comfort that everything is good and you'll be provided for and all that fun stuff, to pretty early on feeling kind of financially responsible for things in my life, like very early on. And so then I started feeling like money was a thing of lack and that you really needed to save, and also like being a good girl meant that you saved your money. So I really got into hoarding money or like just overly saving it, never spending, not buying things that I wanted. And then as I got like older and actually had a career and had like a job with actual money, I followed similar tendencies where I had like a couple of waxing and waning in there, because my natural tendency was to spend more. But then I would beat myself up and put myself back into this like hoarding mentality. But there were a couple of times that I actually was a little bit freer with money, especially in college when I had kind of a consistent job, but nothing like, I had like consistent little bits of money coming in. It became more okay to like kind of release it. And then I went into massive hoarding mode around the time that I was miserable in my career, and saved literally, I saved the majority of what I made. It was crazy. In a time frame that I made like maybe 30,000-ish, because looking at the time frame of the job, I managed, and I wasn't making much money. I'd managed to save up about 10 grand, but it was not totally healthy. It was literally me trying to hold on to money with every ounce of my being, hoping that it would help me be able to somehow leave this awful career of mine that I wasn't happy with. And it doesn't work that way, you know. Just because you have a ton of money sitting there, you still gotta like have money to live and all that kind of stuff. And then I ended up going later to an opposite extreme where I was constantly investing in things, which initially was not a bad idea. And especially for building businesses, you usually do have to make some initial investments. In case you don't know, have a couple technically. So you know, you have to make some investments. And then I had some guilt come in over having some debt that I'd like decided to take on to invest in these businesses, and then went from there to like emotional spending, because oh gosh, so many things to go into. I love taking vacations, found out that our family was not happy with the fact that I was taking vacations. It was the only thing that would like, we were taking kind of frequently, about every like few months, but it was totally possible in our life then. That was actually before the debt and investments. I'd invested a little bit, but not, you know, was not in debt at that point. And so that created a bunch of emotional spending. And then I waxed and waned over the years from hoarding money and spending money, hoarding money, overspending money, all that kind of stuff. So basically had a pretty fascinating toxic relationship with my money and income. So essentially, kind of along the lines of like doing a lot of this personal development, I knew that like this wasn't the best relationship with money, but I didn't really know it. I didn't really grasp. I knew it wasn't good, but I wasn't totally aware of things like, you know, how you can have a money story in the back of your head that's affecting you. I wasn't totally aware of my thoughts around money, how much that affected it, the words that came out of my mouth around money. I had a couple of embarrassing instances where it was pointed out to me, only because they weren't necessarily being mean or anything like that. They just were like, oh, for someone that's always concerned about money, I'm just surprised you're doing this, kind of a thing. And so, you know, kind of embarrassing things where it was pointed out that I'm obviously vocalizing constantly about not being able to afford things or not having enough, or, you know, just obvious stress about money when that's not necessary, you know, like that's not healthy. That's not great for forming a good relationship with money. So a part of how I started moving out of that stress, and we'll talk about this more next week too, definitely sign up for the challenge, but part of how I moved out of that stress was I actually, I started looking at my thoughts around money. I started looking at my, like, where the back end of my money thoughts came from. More of like, where did I start with this? Like, what was in my background that's made me start thinking this way? Like, what was my story around money growing up? Like, what was I taught around money growing up? And started really looking at that. And then started looking at, like, okay, do you still believe this now? Is this something still holding you back now? And one of the things that I discovered was that my true beliefs around money and how I feel around money was not like what was ruling my mind. A lot of the stress and the strain that I had coming with money was from previous thoughts or other people's thoughts or guilt over stuff with other people or stressors from other people, you know, things that were not like truly innately me, but that I had taken on, like beliefs I had taken on, or things that I felt like I needed to do to be that good girl or that good person. And it wasn't truly, it didn't line up with me and how I actually felt or actually believed. So that was like one thing that I did that was a huge help. The next thing I did was I actually started paying more attention to where my money was going. And I recommend, even if you've done this, regular check-ins. Like, regular check-ins are really, really great, because a lot of times we'll pick up things, or like we might subscribe to a magazine that maybe we don't care that much about anymore, but it was a free trial initially, but then we were charged. Or maybe we are regularly going out and going to dinner at certain places that we don't actually really love eating there. They're just kind of like a common place and we decide to spend our money there. Or maybe we are picking up like extra expenses when we go to Target or Walmart or wherever you go. Or if you're not in the US, those are big, huge stores. So maybe when you go to the grocery or anything else, you're throwing extra things in your cart that, you know, maybe they make you feel better in that moment, or maybe you might want them in that moment, but they're not actually things you really value or want. So starting paying attention to where your money is going, looking at whether you actually like want your money to go to those places, and then clean it up every once in a while. Like, we all get in these habits. It's nothing bad. There's nothing like not so good about it, but it's paying attention about what you really want, where you want your money to go, and making those active decisions around your money. Because when you start making active decisions around your money, it's going to go to the places you want to go. And then also another great thing that I did was I started working on I worked on my thoughts by using different mantras and things that I believed and things that I wanted to bring into my life. And again, we'll go through a lot of this next week in the challenge. But these are just some initial things to start paying attention to. Like, while you're getting ready for the challenge, like, what are you thinking about money? Where's your money going? Are you paying attention to that? Is there some things that you're paying for that you don't want to be paying for? If you really value the more expensive restaurant down the road, maybe rather than going to the okay restaurant every single week, go every other week to the nicer restaurant, you know, and have it be a more enjoyable experience, making sure that, you know, what you're spending money on brings you joy. And also, like, having gratitude around bills, all this kind of stuff. Again, more stuff I'll go into way more next week. But if you're ready to decrease your money stress, if you are ready to let it go, I highly recommend that you sign up for the Money Makeover Challenge. It's totally free. To sign up, you can go to signup.caseymaloney.com/money challenge. That's how you sign up. Can't wait to see you there. Love you all. Talk to you soon. Bye.